Thank you for joining me. Today we're talking about saving up your first $25,000 so that you can have a year-long runway, possibly buy your first house hack, and achieve early retirement. So you heard early retirement and you're like, ooh, maybe I'll stick around. Well, you should stick around because that is what I am doing here. I am teaching people how to retire early and achieve financial independence. It is just math. It's fun. You get free stuff. You retire early. I don't know. Need I say more? So saving up your first $25,000. Now I did this when I was around 22, I believe. I had about $30,000 saved. This is all actually pretty simple and it makes sense, but you need to change some things in your life in order to make this happen. So let's say you're making $50,000 a year, which is around the median salary. All you need to do is get your expenses down to about $2,000 a month. Now, if you're able to do that, then that'll be $24,000 a year, which is 50% savings rate, and boom, now you have $25,000 after a year saved up, because 50,000 minus 24,000 is 26,000, but let's say you spent the extra 1,000 on getting drinks every weekend. So anyways. All right, so the reason you want to save that $25,000 is so that you can have a 1-year runway and you can buy a real investment that is going to bring you long-term wealth and start getting towards financial independence and early retirement. So one of the really cool things, so if you have $25,000 sitting in the bank and you have an opportunity to go to a new job that say offers 15% less than what you're making right now, but in a year or two has the chance of doubling your income, because you saved the money, because you're living on less than you need, you're able to take that job. You're able to take less pay now for the opportunity to make more later, as opposed to somebody who's living paycheck to paycheck to paycheck, making the same amount of you and didn't cut down their expenses. They don't have the opportunity. This opportunity does not exist. So that is one really, really important thing on cutting your expenses. It creates opportunity. It puts yourself in a position to be lucky. And that's how a lot of luck is made, like not really luck per se, that's just chance. But if you put yourself in a position, if you learn things, if you're looking for things, if you're looking for opportunity, then opportunity will find you. If you never knew that this existed, then how are you gonna take advantage of it? How are you gonna get lucky, you know? So the second thing that you'll be able to do is you'll be able to get a house hack, which is what I did when I was 22. So pretty much a house hack is you buy a 2 to 4 unit multifamily and you can use an FHA mortgage. Car just pulled in. Tenants upstairs. One of the problems that you have when you have a house hack. Actually, they're really nice, so it's cool. All right. So pretty much a house hack, we'll go into this in a later video, but is buying a 2 to 4 unit multifamily. You're gonna use a FHA or first time home buyers loan so that you're able to get 3.5% to 5% down. And then you are gonna rent out the other units and they are gonna pay for your mortgage, taxes, and insurance, which is what I have done. Wicked easy, cool. Now I have 0 living expenses and actually make money while I live here. So that is an awesome thing that you can do just for saving up for a year and making some changes for a year. Then you're able to buy your own place and pretty much that'll shove you forward in your financial future. So house hacking, pretty cool. But what changes are you gonna need to do in order to save that first $25,000 and get your expenses down to $2,000 a month? Well, your housing is your biggest expense. You're going to need to cut down your housing. I've talked about this in my frugality video and other videos, but it's what you need to do. That's 30% of the average American's budget. So you gotta do something with that. You gotta move in with a roommate. You gotta get a smaller place. You gotta do something with it to chop it down. You gotta also think about this. This is not gonna be long term. This is just gonna be until you're able to save up this initial chunk of money so that you're able to buy your own multifamily, if that's the road you want to go down, or until you're able to buy a significant investment, which is going to make you a decent amount of money. So if you're able to do that and you're able to choose where you live, then you might want to try living closer to work. That way you might not need a car, and that will also save you a lot of money if you can do without that for a few years. Or if you are going to need a car, just make sure you're not getting like a new car, because that is going to cost you a ton of money, and you want to get something that is a little bit older, around 10 years old. I have found to be about the best before it gets too old and it starts to break down, and before it's too new and you have a lot of depreciation kicking in. So here's a couple advantages that you'll have when you have this money saved. First of all, you'll have 1 year's worth of living expenses completely paid. So if you get fired, you need to take 6 months off for something, an emergency comes up, whatever it is, you can live for 1 year without getting paid. Now this is huge. You know nobody else who can do this, but you were able to do it because you got your expenses down so low, not because you made so much more. A lot of times when you make more money, you have lifestyle inflation that just follows with it, and you get a newer house, you get a new car, and you like go out and you do a lot more expensive things that you normally wouldn't do, and then it turns out you're in the exact same situation, just making more and spending more. So instead, it's easier to just stay where you are and then just cut the expenses off, and if you're able to make more too, that's great, but that's not what we're talking about today. The whole idea here is to save up that initial chunk of money so that you're able to jumpstart your path towards financial independence. Now the first 25,000, like the first 1,000 is the hardest, and then the first 25,000. After that, it gets so much easier because you have something legitimate to work with. You have your money making money for you as opposed to always having to work for your money. So that has been a huge help for me, and that first bit really set me up because now I have no housing expenses, and I think it can do the exact same thing for you, or if not, at least it's making you money every month, which might pay for your housing or something like that. And if you have not already, I would really appreciate it if you would subscribe to my channel so I can see you in the next video and see your happy smiling faces once a week. Thank you guys very much. See you. See, the problem is when you only have a bedroom and a living room, you have to be creative and move the camera to different spots so it looks different each time you shoot a video.